welcome back. So last week I took step 2 of the medical board exam, and I just wanted to come here to tell you about my experience, what I used to study, and what strategies I used during the exam. And I wanted to do this because I was asking a lot of the residents or just people that I came into contact with that had already taken the exam, and I wanted to know their experience. Like, I wanted for them just to give me some hint of what to expect. And none of them remembered. And so I wanted to come here to share my experience with you. Even though I'm not allowed to say exactly what's on the exam, I think I can put you a little bit at ease. So the way step 2 is set up is exactly the same as step 1. You have 400 questions that you get to do in 8 hours with 2 breaks and 1 40-minute lunch. I chose not to take my breaks in between the first 200 questions. Like, you get to take a block of 50, and you're allotted a 10-minute break, and then another 50 and another 50, and then a lunch. And the reason why I did that was because I remember for step 1, it takes that 10 minutes off your time that you get to answer the questions. And if you read through the tutorial in the beginning, it tells you that. You can take that break, but those 10 minutes spent on your break will be taken away from your test time. And so I felt that I didn't need to take that break, and I'd rather use those 10 minutes just to read, like, slowly. If my brain was tired, I would just read slower and take my time. And I felt that that really helped me in step 2, because I remember in step 1, I was rushing till the very end to answer questions. And this, I still had like 10-12 minutes left. And yeah, I could have taken the break, but it was just, mentally, it was easier on me to just sit there through the 200 questions, take my lunch, and then sit through another 200 questions. In retrospect, step 2 was a lot easier than step 1. And I don't know if it was easier because I have more clinical knowledge now, or I'm just a better physician now, but I was miserable studying for step 1. For my friends who were around me, I was cranky, I was crying, all the time. But for step 2, I left it feeling okay. I mean, granted, it was a 9-hour exam, and you won't know your score until 4 to 6 weeks later. It reminded me a lot of the shelf exams during each rotation that we would get. So I felt a lot better because I have already taken so many shelf exams. And also there was a lot of OMT. And one of my strengths, I can't speak. One of my strengths are OMTs, so I felt fairly confident when it came to those questions. So what I used to study, I use DIT. So it came with videos and a workbook like this, and it has questions at the beginning and the end of each video that you watch, and you just fill them out along the way. I felt that DIT was sufficient to study for step 2. I like Dr. McGinnis and Dr. Lewis because they're just funny to watch and they make dumb jokes, and sometimes you just need a laugh when you're studying. But if you didn't have this resource, I believe that you will do absolutely fine on the exam, and even great on the exam. I have 100% confidence that if any of my friends were to take the exam right now and they haven't studied, they would pass. Maybe I just have smart friends. Anyways, you will do great on this exam as long as you know your OMT and that you've passed every shelf exam thus far. I believe that you would do fine. So people say that you're supposed to take 2 months to study for step 1, 2 weeks to study for step 2, and a number 2 pencil to study for step 3. I did not take any time off to study. I originally planned to take my exam early July after my wedding, but decided to change it to May 11th to take my exam, just because I wasn't gonna study after my wedding. and I was doing internal medicine at the time. So basically during my whole internal medicine rotation, I would be studying for my board exam. And it was good because I saw a lot of the clinical stuff. So I would watch about 5 to 7 videos. It depends because I went to Philadelphia to take the PE, so I couldn't study when I was there. So I had to make up some videos. So I would either do anywhere from 5 to 7 to 8 videos a day, and then I would try to do at least 10 questions. And if I was too tired, then I wouldn't do 10 questions because you would have to review them and read through them and actually like absorb the knowledge. And there's no point if you're gonna just do the questions and not look at the answers and review them, because then you don't know why you got them wrong. So there was a point where I was just like, oh, I'm so tired, I can't do this, and so I just stopped. I would do 10 on weekdays and then 50 on the weekends. And I know you guys are thinking like, oh man, she's only doing 10 questions, but I was tired. I was on my internal medicine rotation, so I was doing that all day, coming home to study, going to the gym, and then also doing questions. So my biggest advice for medical students who are starting their clerkship is to go home and read every day about one patient that you saw that day. I know it sounds like basic, this is basic shit, you know, but it really helps. I remember during my family medicine rotation, I had a preceptor who made me go home and research one patient every day and come back and present to him about their clinical scenario every single day. And so I felt like I became such a better physician after that rotation. Even though I hated him, even though he made me feel this small, I still feel that I learned the most, or I retained the most information during that rotation. So for everyone out there who's still studying for step 2, don't worry, you'll do great. You've been prepping for this all year, so don't feel like it's gonna be like step 1, because it's nothing like step 1. Do a bunch of questions. I think I did almost 1,000 questions in the 2 days leading up to the exam. Basically, I didn't stick to my 150 a week, so I ended up doing a bunch at the end. So yeah, just do a bunch of questions, you'll do great. ComBank is a good representation of what the questions will be like in the exam. So that's all I have to say. Good luck, everyone. So if you have any questions, just put them in the comment section below and I'll try to get back to you. Other than that, if you haven't already, please subscribe and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. You know, we like to try new things, so I thought it'd be perfect to share what I eat with you guys. Maybe our paths will cross.